We're talking about hypnosis. Specifically, we're going to be talking about self-hypnosis. Before I jump into that, I want to just say some people do have some interesting misconceptions about hypnosis. One of the interesting misconceptions about hypnosis is that meditation and hypnosis are two completely different things. What I want us to think of hypnosis as a really broad category. It's kind of like walking into a house. If you walk into a house, you're inside a house. Now, meditation might be in the living room, and then yoga nidra is going to be in the bedroom. Mindfulness is in the living room. But you see, we're still inside the house. And so hypnosis is this broad category where we have an altered state, a non-normative state, meaning we aren't just in our analytical, our logical mind. And that altered state is hypnosis. Now, there are many things within that, and including hypnotherapy, which is different than meditation, is different than yoga nidra, is different than just mindfulness practices. So let's keep that in mind. And also, here's the other cool thing about it is if you are an intuitive or you're a creative, you enter into hypnosis in order to get your intuitive flow going. You drop into your inner being to be able to feel your intuition. That is a subtle shift, a subtle pivot into something that is more hypnotic than it is logical or analytically focused. And if you know anything about brainwaves, we're talking about the beta brainwave state, which is that's the normative or the logical and analytical state of mind function, or really brain function. And then anything higher or lower than that is altered state and is in some form of hypnosis. Even daydreaming, even a gentle daydreaming is a form of hypnosis. So we're going to be talking about many different kinds of consciousness practices that are actually using self-hypnosis. So once again, hypnosis being a really broad umbrella, I am going to be talking about a program that is called the Aligned Mind Method. And we have a new live cohort coming up very soon at the time that we are recording this. If you're listening sometime asynchronously, like a year later or anything like that, I encourage you to still check the link below because there might be another live cohort coming up soon. And this is also a program that will remain on demand between the live cohorts. By the way, if you ever get a program of mine on demand and I have a live cohort sometime after that, you get to be in the live cohort. So, you can get going self-paced. And so that speaks to my mediumship course, my animal communication course, and so on and so forth. So we're going to be talking about many different forms of self-hypnosis. So that does include mindfulness. That does include things where you actually put yourself into the trance state. Also, doing self-inquiry of taking an inventory of your beliefs and how you can dismantle limiting beliefs and remantle. I don't think that's a word. Well, it's a word now. Reconstruct. I know that's a word. The beliefs that actually serve your desires that actually will manifest into your IRL.
Okay. Well, you touched on this a little bit in your intro, but let's dive deeper. I've heard of self-hypnosis, but I'm not totally sure what it is. Is it like meditation or is it something completely different?
All right. So we are going to answer this question. I've heard of self-hypnosis, but I'm not sure what it is. Is it like meditation or is it something completely different? And here's the thing. The first place I want to start with this is, yes, hypnosis is a broad category. It's like crossing the threshold of an altered state of consciousness. We do go into hypnosis naturally several times a day, including when we go to sleep and when we awake from sleep. And even the going to sleep is called hypnagogia, and the waking from sleep is called hypnopompia, hypnagogic, hypnopompic states. And you can hear right in that it has hypno, right? Which is indicating the same thing that hypnosis, the word hypnosis, indicates. We also daydream. We also get into a creative flow. We also, just kind of zone out. And we also do things like watch movies. So all of those are hypnotic states. By the way, a fight-flight state is also a hypnotic state. It's not the kind we prefer. It's not the kind we want, but it is because it's not a normal state of being and awareness where I know that I don't need to fight or flee for my life. So, you know what I mean? Like we have an altered state in that. Now, meditation falls under that category, as do a lot of other kinds of focused awareness that helps us to drift into something that is not just logical and not just that beta brainwave focus. So meditation is within the category of hypnosis. And here's what's one thing I wanted to say that's really interesting is that if you are listening to a meditation track or someone else is guiding you in a meditation, you are being hypnotized by that person. Now, they may not be trained in certain kinds of specific hypnotic techniques. They may not be a hypnotherapist, which is different than meditation, but it is also within hypnosis, right? But if even a guide track or something you're listening to on YouTube, you are being hypnotized by that person because they are guiding you to agree to altering your state. Hypnosis is always something you agree to, that you are, it's not something that is done to you, even though sometimes it seems like it is. But it is, so meditation is a kind of hypnosis. It is not hypnotherapy necessarily, but it is an altered state of being where we create a focus in order to go into the inner realms of our mind or our subconscious mind, as we call it. Anytime that you are visualizing something, you're going to alter your awareness in order to do that. You're going to alter your perception because seeing the real world right here is normative. If I take my visualization inward, that is non-normative. That is a different state. So that there are many different states of hypnosis, and that's the distinction. If you are a meditator, then self-hypnosis is probably something that you may already be doing in one form, but maybe not with the tactical sort of techniques that we offer in the aligned mind, which you can find out about that in the link below.